Hello, this is James Norton with another episode of Bipolar IQ. And yeah, so the last couple of days I've not been able to make a video for personal reasons. I mean, what do I mean personal reasons? I've just kind of been too lazy and put out. I mean, I think I mentioned it last time that it's starting to, the slow part is starting to creep in a little bit, and it's no fun, really. I mean, it's dreadful, really, to be honest. Anyway, so that's creeping up on me, and so I haven't been as active as I would like to have been, and I would like to apologize for that. One of my main goals in doing this video was to also push through the depressing parts and still get out a video every day, and so I'm going to try to make that more of a point in the future. I've got a meeting with my therapist tomorrow, and he wanted to look at this episode and kind of go through it and see what he thought of it, and see what I was doing with it. And I think that, that's a good place to start, because I mean, it's like, what do I want to say? What do I want to tell people? How can I help people's attitude and understanding of this illness? It's like, I think that I can, because, like I said, I've suffered from it for 35 years, and that gives you a real, inside scoop on what it's like dealing with bipolar illness, and manic depressive is actually the term I prefer, because I mean, bipolar, I mean, that could be anything. I mean, I think that manic depressive is so much more applicable, because it's, it's mania in its obvious sense, and it's just a dreadful depression that comes in too. But it's almost threefold for me, because I also have a certain amount of stability at certain points when I'm just completely okay and kosher and not too bad either way. But I try to keep things, stable as I can, where I can do things and still stay focused on goals and ambitions and people around me. And I'm in an outpatient group at the VA that I need to participate more in, and my new therapist wants me to get involved more with that, and I'm kind of anticipating it, and I'm kind of dreading it at the same time. I think it would be, on one hand, kind of fun to get involved with it more, but on the other hand, it's like more obligation, more, you stress yourself thin, and then you don't get as much done, and then, you don't get as much done as you would like to with your own stuff. And I'm just wondering, is that really something I want to commit to? And, maybe it should be, but we'll see. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see how that works. But the main thing is, how can I help people with manic depressive illness, and how can I help them to get through some of these areas? And I mean, as I get into depression, I'm hoping to cage off some of these areas that people deal with. First, just the sadness, and that's a big part of it. But then eventually it's the suicidality that's the dangerous part. You get to the point where you just want to end it all and kill yourself. And it sounds mundane, and it sounds like, oh, well, there's a lot of people like that would like to kill themselves. And I think there are. I really honestly do. I do think there's a lot of people that would like to kill themselves, but don't have the, I think I'm one of them, to be honest. I think I would love to have things be over, but I don't have the power to take that step. I don't have the power to shoot myself or to stab myself or to take an overdose of pills. I mean, it's like, I haven't made up my mind about what's beyond or whatever. And how would you like to be wrong about something like that and throw away a perfectly good life just because you were curious, because you were sad, or because you were going through something that you didn't think you could do? And then you find out that you are eternally, I don't know. And eternity is a long time anyway. But I mean, and those are bigger things that I'm hoping to cover in this group, in this group of videos. But I'm just saying, it's like, you have to consider all this kind of stuff when you're considering suicide. I mean, that's like the end of the line for a lot of people. And if you actually cross that threshold, then that's it. You're done. And whether you were sad or not, or successful or not, or going through something or not, if you succeed, you're done. And that's it. So consider that anyway, and work on that concept for a little bit. And just remember that, if you, are in the grip of depression, that you have to seek help before you um, find yourself in a position where you can't sustain it. And I can only plead you to do that, because I've been in positions where I can't sustain it, and I've had to have my friend come at the last minute and save me and put me in the hospital, and many times. And because she knows me well enough to where she can just sense it, when I'm in a bad place, but in a bad way or whatever. And like I said, I've said this a couple of times now, I know for a fact I have, that if you can just have one person that is on your side and that can help you, seek that one person out and hold on to that person, because they can really get you to where you can, they can be that support person for you. And hopefully they can be that support person that you need to sustain your fortitude, and to ground you, and to let you know that things aren't always going to be this way. Because that's the cool thing about bipolar. I mean, we have an advantage over people that are chronically depressed, because for us, things eventually get better again. And that's a major advantage. I mean, imagine where just things never get better. How would that be? Anyway, so the advantage for us is that things do in fact get better. And with that, I think that's all I have to say for today. But like I said, in the future, we're going to be focusing on more and more of the depression, because I can only really speak from where I am at the moment. I can't, when I'm depressed, I can't recall with any kind of efficacy what I was like when I was manic. I mean, and it was only a couple of weeks ago, to be honest. I mean, I'm just now paying off a whole bunch of bills that I just, that I accumulated while I was manic, but I take that very seriously. And I think that now with my obligations, I know what to focus on, and pay off those bills first, and then everything else will smooth out and fall into place. And so remember, the manias have repercussions, and the depressions have repercussions. And that's an important part to realize and to understand. They are very different, fundamentally different, but they have they both have their own idiosyncratic types of consequences. And so keep that in mind. This is James Norton with Bipolar IQ. Have a good night, evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And remember, you are loved.